Hi, and welcome back to part two of the discussion with your girl Bree of Bree Style Edition and my girl Amoi of Styled by Amoi. We hope you find this conversation insightful. Enjoy. Hi, welcome to the discussion. I'm your girl Brittany of Bree Style Edition, and today I'm teaming up with my girl
Amoi of Styled by Amoi.
And today's discussion is going to be centered on our personal journeys as stylists, as well as some misconceptions about hiring a personal stylist.
We'll also discuss racial bias in the fashion industry, our personal struggles with COVID, and also the future of fashion after this.
So make sure that you tune in and enjoy the discussion. Speaking of the fashion industry and it being cliquish and all of these different things, what do you think about the fashion industry as it relates to racism and how they exclude us from so many different areas of the fashion industry, or just don't give us a piece of the pie? What do you think about, or a seat at the table, as they say? What do you think about that, or what are your thoughts on that?
So I've never, I haven't done editorial, but I have heard stories, and from where I've been sitting, I do notice that the most we'll get is maybe a token Black girl or a token biracial girl in an editorial spread. And then just from watching things like America's Next Top Model or anything or shows that talk about the industry for models, for Black models, and why there's like two Black models fighting it out. You know what I mean? Like, why is there only two Black models at the top? You know what I mean? Why is there only space for one? Like, why does it have to be either Tyra or Naomi? You know? Meanwhile, you have countless of like other models like that are Brazilian, that are white and things like that. But for some reason, the industry has had a history of there just not being an equal representation, right? So there's that. I've definitely heard about actually a coworker that she did work. I think it was, I don't remember if it was a fashion magazine or what they did exactly, but they like refused to hire Black models. We all know like the creators, like I think even Vogue, like they did not hire Black photographers, things like that, right? So here we are not getting hired to work in the industry, to whether it's on the front, like in the editorial, or just not getting hired as much, right? But then when you open up editorials, right, when you look at designs and things like that, people draw inspiration. The people who are creating these things, even the clothing, who are creating these things, are drawing inspiration from everywhere. Streetwear is inspired by, where do you think that came from? You know what I mean? Like, what street did they get it from? The hood. Okay, it came from the hood. And so there was, there's this term called ghetto until proven fashionable, right? So the thing is, it's like the bamboo earrings, the big braids and things like that, like were seen as ghetto at some point. But when someone like Kylie Jenner or Kim Kardashian starts rocking it, then it becomes fashionable, right? At one point, kente cloth, African prints, things like that, where they're seen as militant or lowbrow, kind of savage-like, you know.
They weren't highlighted in the best light at all. The kente
right.
wasn't,
Yeah. And so then there's a certain designer, I don't even want to call the name, but there's a certain designer that now started to introduce those like types of prints, or travel prints, those very ethnic prints, right? And then now it's like it kind of opened the door for it to be seen as more fashionable, right? And so I think it's very, very clear, or at least to us, where the trends are coming from, because the bottom line is Black women are setting the trends. They are. Like Black women set trends, and there's a point where it's like when a Black woman's wearing it, it's like but when it's appropriated, then it's celebrated. And so the issue with that is, it's fine that you want to draw inspiration. It's fine that you want to go to the Sahara or do an Egyptian inspired spread or whatever the case is. And there are clear ethnic influences, right, in terms of aesthetics. But the problem with not acknowledging where that comes from, the people who are seeing it don't know how those ethnic groups are contributing to what they're consuming. And then also, like, if you're not hiring people who can like probably do it the best, who have those kinds of backgrounds, like it just doesn't make sense. It's like you're ripping off a culture, but they can't be on your staff, they can't be the ones taking the photos. Prime example. I don't know who it was, but there was this white male model with this like lace front braided wig, looking a hot mess. And it's just like, well, if you wanted to do like, mind you, cornrows was at one point seen as unprofessional and camp, doesn't look good. And now you have this, instead of hiring maybe a Black model, there's also like, even in the hairstylist, like I've heard horror stories about Black models not having someone who can do their hair because like the hairstylist they have on staff just don't know how to work with their hair. So I've heard these different horror stories, but I see it from the end where like I know where certain trends come from because we were rocking that for like years, and now we're seeing it on the runway. It's making its way around. The urban streetwear clearly comes from the hood. Like, that's the hood. Like that's where you see the oversized clothing and things like that, and where that came from. And so I know that sometimes the younger generation or people who grew up somewhere else or didn't grow up in the hood may not necessarily know where that came from. But those same people can be rocking that style, right? Because the first time they saw it was on, I don't know, like Haley Baldwin or someone. You know what I mean? They saw it on like a white celebrity. So they associate with that look with that person in their style. But when they don't know where these things originated from, it kind of distances them from, or allows there to still be that distance from Black people, from the hood, from urban people and urban communities, environments, and things like that. So they can still be racist or have their prejudices and things like that. But it's like, but sweetie, do you know who made that style that you're rocking hot? Do you know, like, do you know where that came from? Do you know where that designer got the inspiration for, the FUBU or the stuff that's coming back, the Fila and stuff like that? Like, do you even know where that came from? Do you know who was rocking that first?
They know. They just don't give us the credence or the accolades that we deserve. But I think that what's so important about what's going on right now with all of the unrest is the fact that Black people are awakening and realizing that our buying power matters. So when we start celebrating each other more and glorifying brands, small brands, and making those brands hot, because we are the ones driving the fashion industry. We always have been. But the problem is that we didn't have enough representation. Enough of us weren't able to get our foot in the door, but we were the ones on the opposite end being the consumer. Black people will spend their last dollar, and it's not on a label to make sure that they look fly, and that's cool, boo. You want to do that, cool, but give it to your own people. So this way, when we want those seats at the table, we have someone that looks like us to be able to give us that opportunity and to bring more of us up together. It's about climbing together. That's what I was telling you. Like, when I'll get to the top, or I don't believe in there being a top. I don't ever feel like you reach your maximum potential. Like I believe in constantly growing, evolving, reinventing myself, whatever the case may be. But as I climb, I don't want to look around and it's just me. It's no fun up there when it's only you. It's only enjoyable when you look around and you can share those experiences with somebody. It's just like in life in general, working hard and getting a bunch of material things is great, but then you're in a big huge house empty by yourself with no one to share those joys with. So I feel the same way about the fashion industry. I feel in order for us to continue in order for us to grow our ideals and the things that continue to inspire so many people, we have to put our money into those things so that those brands can continue to grow. The FUBUs, the Fat Forms, the Rock Years. We let all of those trends, all of those brands that were made for us, we let them just fade away and die out. And we started celebrating and highlighting the Chanels and all of those things. Like that's what we glorify now. You know what I mean? And so, or we highlight, I should say. And I think that we have to steer away from that, because if we create the tables, we can create seats at them. Period. Like,
amen.
That's just what it is. One of the things I did want to comment on is as a stylist, especially an entertainment stylist, I've noticed that it's so easy to get labeled as a Black stylist. And there's another stylist that I work with. I'm gonna tell you why, but let me explain that, because that's very vague right now. So I'm gonna explain what I mean. There's a stylist I've worked with. He's very well known and he's worked with a lot of people. And he put this ideal in my head. I was like, I never really thought about it like that. He's worked with people of all races. And he said it was very important for him to get a non-Black artist or entertainer, or whatever the case may be, because he didn't want to be labeled as the stylist who only styles Black people. And I was like, it's so true, because if your roster is all Black people, they think that Black people have a certain stylist, right? We dress different. We have our own, it's ghetto until proven fashionable, right? Like, or it's very ethnic, our vibe. So perhaps that could be some of our style. So say you got a roster of 5 people and all of them have a certain style aesthetic. Now you might be boxed into being a stylist that only can dress people that like this type of style aesthetic. Versus if you were able to get somebody of another cultural background who may have interest in a different style aesthetic, now you're expanding your portfolio and your abilities. So to speak, you can do it, but the world may not think so. They may put you in a box like, oh, he only styles or she only styles these type of clients. So that put the bug in my ear. Like, that is so true. I don't want to just be put in a box, and it's not, I don't know why that is. I guess that's not so much, it's a twofold problem. It's a racial or ethnical issue, but it's also just an industry issue, because if you do any one thing constantly, people would think that that's your niche or that's your, area of expertise. Your stylist that, like, for instance, is a stylist, what's her name? Jesus, Madelcorn. She's, Janelle Monáe stylist. Love her. Love her. I'm literally always under her pictures and stuff commenting. She's a costume designer. And Janelle Monáe's outfits they always tell a story. And that's what I love. That's what I feel. Again, fashion is art. It should always tell a story. But hers, from the first outfit I've ever seen her put together to the end, it always tells a story, no matter how she's dressed. And so it could be so easy for somebody to be like, oh, well, she's very, like, costumey. Like, she can do, theater, play, but she probably can't do, regular modern runway. Somebody could easily put her in the box. I've seen her do so much. Like, she's made sure she diversified her portfolio so that when she is, when reached out to, people are like, oh, no, she can do that too. She can do this too. So I want to be that type of stylist. Like, I don't want to be put in a box. I've never worked with talent that wasn't Black on my own, but interning or assisting other stylists, I've been able to work with talent that wasn't, ethnic. So I've gotten my what in the entertainment industry and other fields and editorial stuff like that, I've worked with other people. But I said all of that to say I want to continue to diversify my portfolio in that way, like styling different types of clothing on different types of people, so that I'm not just labeled. I'm not just only contacted by one type of people. I want to be contacted by all different people. I want to get a limitless amount of opportunities, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because when you were speaking, something you said made me think about that. So I was like, oh yeah, being labeled as a Black stylist, or they only style, you know, certain artists or talent. So here's a question: what are some of the misconceptions you've heard about hiring a stylist or a personal stylist specifically?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so one, I would say the top one would be probably the top thing I hear. Oh, girl, if I had Beyonce money, I'd hire you. You know, so one of the probably the biggest misconceptions is that you need Beyonce money to hire a stylist. And that's not necessarily true. Like if you want to hire a celebrity stylist, yes, you need Beyonce money. But I think that styling is a growing industry, and you're gonna find people at all different stages and levels. And you don't necessarily need Beyonce money if you got CEO money, if you have C-suite executive money, if you are a growing professional who's looking to invest in yourself to take your career to the next level, you can probably carve out a certain amount to gain the expertise of a stylist, because you're going to be buying clothes anyway, right? But if you spend your money on clothes which end up just sitting around, because I think the average American spends like, I mean, that's probably changed now, but the average American is only wearing 20% of their clothes, while the other 80 is just sitting around. They kind of go to the same things, and it's these same few pieces that they wear over and over and they go to. But if you can work with someone that this money that you're going to be spending anyway, the clothes that you're going to be spending anyway, help you understand why you gravitate to the pieces that you do, and why 80% of your clothes you're not wearing. It can help you flip that number. You'll make that when you work with the right stylist, that money will be well spent, because the money you would have thrown away on clothes that are going to be sitting around in your closet, you can then invest in getting someone to help you better understand what your style is, better how to shop for your body, and how to choose pieces so that you're wearing more of your clothes, or even open up your mind in how to style it so that you are wearing it and you're not just wearing it once, and, or you bought it because you liked it, but you're like, I don't really know how to wear this, because that happens a lot. So yeah, one of the biggest misconceptions is that you need Beyonce money, and you don't really need Beyonce money to hire a stylist.
Oh, not at all. And I just feel like you have to find the styles that fits your budget and whose opinion you also trust. But like you said, you'll get that money back 2 times, 3 times, 10 times over, because again, when you look good, you feel good, you perform better. And people buy into image, right? If you don't look the part, you're probably not going to get the part. So it's very important to make sure that your image is suitable. And I agree. Like sometimes people could absolutely say BS, but they be like, oh, they look like they're going to do a good job. We're all guilty of that. You see, if I hired a contractor to come fix my bathroom and they came in stilettos, and I'm like, probably not going to hire you, because how you going to get the job done? You're not even dressed for the occasion. You don't look like you came here to work. So things like that. Like I agree. It's a great investment, and it's not always you have to have Beyonce money, but you just have to find the right match, essentially. And then furthermore, it's an investment, like you said. For me, one of the things I hear in addition to that is like, oh, girl, when I lose a little bit of weight, then I'll reach out to you or I'll hire you. And for me, what I always say to that is, as a stylist, you are typically well-versed in styling different body types. And I'm also well versed in being able to pick staple pieces that can help travel with you as your weight changes and fluctuates. There's certain things, like even like a classic wrap dress that can be worn as your weight fluctuates, or a lot of things that are oversized can be belted, or the oversized look is even in. But for people who are heavier, you don't want a bunch of extra material, but there's ways to cinch it, like I just said, with the belt, or throw on a blazer and then a belt, or just so many different things that you can do. I even know different tricks on how to like take your pants in, or maybe stay away from things that are not as stretchy, and maybe buy things that are stretchy so that if you do gain a little weight, you're still good. If you lose a little weight, you're still good. There's so many different ways that you can work around waiting till you lose a little bit of weight. I've heard that so many
Oh
times.
yeah, for sure.
Or I've
I
even
like
people say that I don't go enough places. Like I wear the same thing over and over again, but I do want to change up my look. I'm like, that's even more perfect, because now we'll get you staple pieces, timeless pieces that you can wear and invest in and mix and match. A stylist can show you how to do transcend from day to night wearing almost the same thing. You're just switching up a few different items. Like there's so many reasons to invest in a style.
so personally, I would say when it all started, I was all actually embarking on my own journey of like changing up my style, and I hadn't been shopping for a while. For the past 2 years, I'll go and browse, but I don't always buy, and I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff, but I haven't been buying as much as I've been selling or giving away. And so I was like, okay, I do want to rebuild my wardrobe. And then obviously when everything hit, I'm a big proponent of shopping in person, trying everything on. Like, yeah, I'll order stuff and like send it back, but then obviously there's that wait time and the shipping stuff back and things like that. So I still like going in person and trying stuff on and then deciding right then and there whether or not I'm going to buy it. So I have been ordering stuff online. I kind of slow down just because I don't know. I don't want them to switch up the return policy on me, saying like, oh no, we can't take this back anymore. We changed it because of everything. So there's that. There's been like I'm going through stuff with my hair. My salon just opened back up, so I went for a quick trim. Trying to, because like I still have to do Zoom calls, things like that. Like I still, like I want to still make videos, but I've got to go through just like my hair is not acting right. I don't know what to do with it. And just different things like that. So there's a lot of content I have not made because, well, my hair wasn't really cooperating with me.
Look, I know exactly what you mean.
It looks amazing right now. Let me tell you. It looks great. But yeah, I think that's a few things. Right now I don't have foundation because I needed to rematch because my skin tone changes from winter to summer. So like I need a lighter shade.
Well, sis, that skin is flawless then.
Thanks. I'm trying. So there was that. Like I was in the process of getting color match at Sephora. So right now I don't know what color I'm supposed to buy in foundation. So I'm just making it work with what I have. So there's that, yeah. And then I guess there's the kind of like staying motivated to like get dressed and stuff like that. Kind of I go through my day to day, but so I'm that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I was battling with the relevance of my content. Like, do people even care right now? People are losing family members. It's kind of a weird time. Like, then I was always like, am I doing enough? I'm like, we got so much time on our hands. I should be producing more content. I should be doing more, right? So, and I had started a lot of things during this time. I started, a YouTube channel. I started posting a lot more, but then there's days because of COVID, losing family members and different things. Like, there's a lot of emotional adjustment and trauma going on for a lot of people. And then as far as like my hair and my clothes were concerned, you know, it's hard to continuously produce content because I couldn't really get new stuff, right? But what it's helped me do was utilize the stuff I already have, because I, you know, would be having a store, and even before that, online, I have so much stuff. And I'm just like, girl, make you do with what you have. So me starting this YouTube helped me, because I was just like, man, I forgot I had this. It was like going shopping in my own closet. So that was definitely an awakening period for me. It was just like, okay, I really have a lot of stuff. My hair was and wasn't a struggle, because I told you I'm licensed to do hair. So I can make my hair work and I can finesse it. But the problem is sometimes it's hard to braid my own hair and do different things. So what I invested in a lot during quarantine was like units, wig units. And I literally was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to interchange these and make these work, okay? Because I'm not gonna be constantly doing my hair. So that was, but the problem was shipping. It wasn't so much doing the hair, it was waiting for products to come in the mail. That was my struggle during COVID.
Honestly, I don't know how long it will last. I don't even know if styling in person will be a thing after this. I know that there's that move towards sustainability. So like people, you know, there's that like less waste, things like that. We don't know how long this will go on for. I've already seen like, I don't know how they came out with this so quickly, but even Zara, like their collection, their first new collection that came out when quarantine started was all like stuff you can wear at home. You know what I mean? Like it was all very like stuff clearly made to be worn in the house. Um, and then maybe you could wear if you step out. So there could be something like that where things where they're moving. I know I've definitely seen more stuff like move in that direction, like things you can wear from home. The focus, I would say, has probably been from the waist up, you know, because we still have to do Zoom meetings. So people are like, you know, a cute top and they're probably wearing leggings on the bottom, you know. So there's that. Yeah, and I think with the whole scare with the social distancing and everything, people, yeah, I mean, obviously the large gatherings, I mean, they cancel like the Met Gala and you know things like that. So it's really interesting. I know things are definitely not going to be the same, but it's hard to tell like what it's going to look like.
Like I said, I definitely think people's priorities have shifted. Even with the unrest that's going on, I think that a lot of people just don't really care about your outfit for the day. You know, it's not, the content isn't as relevant right now. And so with that going on and with COVID going on at the same time, you got social distancing because of COVID. You got people just afraid to go places, period, because of the racial injustices and COVID. You know, people aren't trying to do large gatherings like that. So I definitely see like fashion shows being more, you know, virtual. I even, that there's a designer I follow, Hanifa, and she was like, everybody, you probably seen it. She did like the virtual fashion show where she didn't even have bodies in the clothes. It was like the clothes were just like moving and walking around. I thought that was super dope. I think that people are going to continuously be more innovative during this time. People are like restructuring their brands, recreating themselves. It's just like a whole reinvention period coming along. So I think that we're going to see so many different things. A lot of things like, which we're already seeing, face masks are becoming like a two-piece bikini set. Like it comes with everything, like, you know, matching face masks and things like that. And I think there's going to be some evolution to that as well. Like they're going to start making one piece garments with the whole face, like, you know, all of that is going to be a thing for sure. Like it'll be like a jumpsuit and the face mask and the hood is combined, like for real. Like there's going to be so much of that, I feel. And I just think presentation, like the way people present it, is just going to be different, because I think that people are just more sensitive to the things that are going on. So I think even in terms of designs, they're going to have things that are more inclusive of people's ethnicities, even sexual preferences, sizes. Like I think that we're moving toward more inclusivity. I'm hoping that's what it seems like. People are just more aware. So I think that the future of fashion is bright, but I do think it's certainly going to be different. Definitely not like anything we've seen. Like you, I like the experience of shopping in person. That's an experience to me. Like I get up on a Saturday, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the mall today. I'm gonna go shopping. Like, I really truly enjoy that. Um, that's a little hard for me because ordering clothes is cool and it's something to look forward to in the mail and trying it on at home, but it's nothing like the in-person shopping experience. And even for my clients, like there's certain things that I need on demand. I don't have time to wait. Like sometimes when when people reach out to you for styling opportunities, it's not always in advance. Not when you're styling talent, at least. Like you need to go to a showroom, or sometimes you might have to buy ready to wear pieces from the stores, So that's going to be a little challenging. I'm not really sure what that's going to look like in the future. I know also a lot of stylists are doing virtual styling. I actually have not done any virtual styling appointments as of yet. I actually will be doing my first one next week because I'm styling a wedding and the bride has to finally go get fitted for her things and stuff like that. And so, I mean, technically it's hard to explain. I'm not styling her, I'm styling her bridesmaids, but I need to know what her dress is going to look like in order to be able to style the bridesmaids. And so she invited me virtually to her fitting appointment. So that's kind of going to be like my first experience with that, but it's nothing like hands-on experience. So we shall see how things pan out. I don't know if you have any more questions. I really, really enjoyed our session.
I enjoyed our session. I agree with everything. I definitely think that like there's like touching back what we said about like racism in the industry, like people are watching now, people are paying attention. So I think that yes, we are moving our dollars, and I think that people are creating platforms and opportunities, and the intention is being put where it needs to be put so that we can support the Black-owned businesses and the Black designers, and also like showcase the art and how Black people contribute to the industry. So, but yeah, I mean, what a past few months, right?
Yes, man. I'm almost like, thank God I'm a believer, because the future doesn't scare me because, I know that Christ is always there. He's leading the way, paving the path. So no matter what happens in the future, I'm resting on his promises and in his word. But for people who don't have anything else to believe in, I can imagine it could be a little bit of a struggle. Uncertainties can always be scary, no matter if you're a believer or not, but it helps you feel a little bit more comforted when you know that there's somebody else controlling what's going on and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen in the future. What am I supposed to do? I'm just going with the flow. I'm just dealing with it. So we'll see. But before we get off, this discussion was really, really awesome, Amoi. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this and joining me. I want you to at least tell the people where they can find you. If you're working on any projects, anything that you want them to tune into, let them know now.
Of course. So if you look me up on YouTube, Styled by Amoi, my content comes up. On Instagram, I'm at Amoi Homes. And yeah, you can find me there. And my website is bit.ly/styled by Amoi.
Awesome. And I'm girl Bree. It actually is short for Brittany. My friends call me Bree. My Instagram is there's only the number 1_Bree. And I'll make sure I link all of this information below. You can find me on YouTube at Bree Space Style Edition, spelled together. You have to write it like that. If you don't, I will not populate. You can also find me on Facebook, Bree Style Edition. And I'm going to be bringing you some new content. I'm actually shooting a YouTube video right after this discussion. So make sure you tune in so you can see this full look. I have a few more looks coming for you guys, and we'll be doing more of these series. I'll try to work with Amoi some more. I'm going to try to get some more people on, and we're going to make sure that we're promoting each other and supporting each other because that's what it's about. And we appreciate you guys for joining. Thank you, Amoi, for sitting down with me. I appreciate you. And we're definitely going to chat soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys. Later.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in.